Hello and welcome to Cat's Love. Welcome to the first ever episode of Purranormal Investigation. Today we are investigating ghost cats and delving into a story of somebody who's seen their dead cat. This is one out of many cat-themed horror stories that I'll be posting from October 14th, or the day that this is uploaded, all the way up to Hallow's Eve, October 31st. This story is on Reddit by Redditor... They deleted their account. This was on r/nosleep. Hello, nosleep. I am just a normal college graduate. My roommate was my best friend. Her name was Ashley. She had to move out for some reason. I eventually started to get lonely and I got a cat. The cat's name was Sally and she just absolutely adored me. I've known Sally for a little while. I had taken care of her for a little while because she was a stray that was living outside of our dorm. I couldn't take her in because Ashley was allergic to cats, but since she left, I ended up taking her in. After I took her in, I took her to the vet, and she had worms in her insides. The vet prescribed me a pill, and I crushed it down into a powder to put in her food, and eventually all the worms were gone. Sally wasn't energetic or playful. She would more likely sleep rather than play. She would sleep for most of the day and then meow loudly when she was hungry. I got home from shopping one day, and something was off. Usually she would be sitting by my feet rubbing up on me, but this time she was nowhere to be seen. I walked into the kitchen and set my groceries on the counter and looked around for her. I called her and I even got out food, but she didn't come. It was very off that she hasn't shown herself yet. I figured she was sleeping and went into the living room to watch TV. After a little while, I ended up drifting off to sleep and just took a nap. I woke up at about 4 p.m. and I walked into the kitchen and Sally was still nowhere. Part of me said she's sleeping and not to bother her, but a tiny voice in my head told me to go look for her because this was very off. I ended up starting to search for her, but I couldn't find her anywhere. I started to get worried and frantically started searching everywhere. I frantically searched my room and couldn't find her until I looked under the bed. There she was, laying there. I called out for her, but she would not budge. I started trying to pet her, and I eventually grabbed her and pulled her out from under the bed. I checked to see if there was a pulse, and there was none. My eyes watered up as I kept saying no. I buried her the next day at the park. Sally was my best friend, and now she's gone. I ended up just going home and stayed home, and I didn't really eat anything that day. I went to bed early. Next morning, I woke up to something rubbing on my legs. I sat up, rubbed my eyes, and looked down to the end of the bed, and there she was, laying there, looking at me. I didn't believe in the supernatural at the time, but seeing my dead cat at the foot of the bed staring at me kind of changed my opinion on that. I was scared. I screamed. I retreated to the corner of the room, and as quick as she came, she was gone. That stayed fresh in my mind all day, all week, and eventually I just came to the fact that she passed away and that I just rounded it up to a sad hallucination. But it happened again. I was slowly drifting off to sleep when I heard purring. My heart began to race as I opened my eyes, and there she was, staring at me. She was laying in the same position when I first saw her apparition. I ran out of bed, put on my coat and shoes, and stormed out of the house. I took a long walk, and I ended up in the park where I buried Sally. I sat on the bench and started crying until I eventually headed home. After that, nothing really happened. I do occasionally hear purring throughout the house, and when I try to look for the source, it disappears. I talked with a vet about her passing, and the vet told me that she most likely passed away in her sleep. That helped me out with the whole situation. Everything is okay now, but the purrs still haunt me. Alright, that was the end of the story. Now, in my eyes, it sounded like Sally missed the author of the story, and that she was just showing herself to basically tell the author it was going to be okay and that Sally still loved him. Thanks for coming to the first Purranormal Investigation. I know it was just a story off of Reddit, but next episode, I'm actually talking about a true story about the cat that came back. If you're also wanting to know the other main headlines of this series that is going on till Halloween, then here is a list. Or over here. The camera's at a weird angle, so I can't see where I am right now. If anything, I might not even be in frame, so that would suck having to re-record it. But if I am in frame, then here's a list. If you have any other stories or spooky cat-themed topics that you would like to see me talk about, then let me know. Thanks for watching. This has been Cat's Love. See you next episode. Sally?